Hey everybody, welcome back to Living Traditions Homestead. Well, we had a productive couple of weeks away from YouTube. Even though you saw 3 videos from us last week, those were pre-recorded so that we actually had 2 weeks to get our spring cleaning done and some other projects around the homestead. We've got a lot to share with you guys. It was a productive couple of weeks.
Not only was it productive, but it was exciting. We've been missing you guys and missing having the opportunity to share with you just shortly after exciting things happen. So we've had some things happen around the homestead that we've been waiting to share with you, and we can't wait.
So as you probably figured out from the beginning of this video, one of our goats had her babies while we were taking our break from YouTube. This time we decided to hook up a security camera in the barn where the goats have their babies, because if you remember last fall, one of our goats had a really bad birth. And if we hadn't been there just in time, we probably would have lost the mom and the baby. Well, we didn't want the same thing to happen this time, so we decided to hook up a camera so we could watch her from in the house and be able to see exactly how things were progressing.
Now, Rory, who is the goat who had her babies just a couple days ago, she's given us babies 2 times before and has never had a problem. So really, we just wanted to be able to see when she was going into labor, and she's been very hands-off before and just has always done a great job. So we just wanted to be able to see what was going on from inside the house. But we're so glad that we had those security cameras up, because it ended up not being an easy birth for her.
The day started off pretty normal. We noticed first thing in the morning that she was starting to have a little bit of labor signs, some discharge, and she just wasn't acting her normal self. So we knew that it was going to be the day that she was going to have her babies, but we really had no idea what the day had in store for us.
Once we knew Rory was starting to go into labor, I ran outside real quick to our other goats to milk. By the time I was done milking, Rory started pushing, and that was probably around 10 or 10:30 in the morning. She started doing some pushing but didn't seem very serious about it. Part of the amniotic sac came out and burst, which is pretty normal, but she just kind of stopped pushing, and we thought, well, maybe she just wasn't ready yet. So we gave her a lot of time.
Typically, it seems like from the time that you see some of that discharge coming out to the time that they give birth is only a few hours.
Rory was very uncomfortable, doing very typical things, up and down, this position, that position, quite a bit of groaning, and occasionally she would do a little bit of pushing but never seemed very serious about it. So around 3:30 in the afternoon, I actually became concerned that this just wasn't progressing as quickly as I thought.
In fact, it almost seemed like it had halted.
Right.
She's kind of stopped pushing altogether.
And I didn't see many contractions, and so I started to get pretty nervous.
It was right around 5 o'clock that we noticed that she was really starting to push again, but it just didn't seem quite right. So we continued to watch, but we said, you know what, if she doesn't have one of these babies in the next 30 minutes or so, we're going to need to go back out there and try to figure out what's going on, because at this point it really seemed like we might be in kind of an emergency situation.
And she was so exhausted. So we got our gloves at 5:30 and we went in there, and Kevin was brave again, just like with Princess, and went in there to see what he could feel and see.
Yeah, I kind of got my hands up inside of her the best that I could, and I figured out that the first baby that was coming out was actually coming out backwards. Typically, baby goats will come out head first with their arms kind of, or their front legs kind of in front of them. But this one, I could definitely feel that it was a back end that was coming out. And it seemed pretty big for a Nigerian Dwarf Goat.
Yeah, butt first is not really the presentation you're looking for. So Kevin did his best and was able to pull that baby free, and we thought, okay, well, if there are any more babies in there, this is going to be smooth sailing.
So on the second baby, I really thought things were going to go pretty smoothly. When I reached inside of Rory, I could feel a head and I could feel legs, and I thought, okay, well, this baby's in the right position. So every time she would push, I would pull a little bit gently on the baby to try to get it to come out. And as it started to come out, I realized that what I actually had in my hands was a head, one front leg, and two back legs. And so I didn't really know what was happening. I assumed that at this point it was probably one baby kind of bent in half.
Yeah, we
coming
didn't
out
know what was
front
going
legs
on.
and back legs.
It was so scary.
Yeah, and I just couldn't really figure out what was going on. So as she kept pushing, I just gently pulled as gently as I could, but I knew I needed to get that baby out of there. And what actually happened is two babies came out at exactly the same time.
There were two babies right next to each other. One with its head first and the other with its two front or the back legs first. I've never heard of that in my entire life. They were coming side by side.
Yeah, and because the two babies are almost identical looking, it looked like the legs from the same baby. So it was so confusing, but I was able to get them both out. And luckily, as soon as they were out, they both seemed pretty good.
Yeah, we rubbed on them and we got the amniotic sac away from them and got them breathing. All three of the babies we made sure we gave to the mom right away so that she could bond with them.
One of the babies did seem like it had a little bit of fluid down in its lungs, so we did hold it upside down for a while. That kind of lets them cough things out.
Oh, it was really a miracle. We weren't sure that any of the babies or the mom were going to be okay. It was a scary few minutes, but we're so thankful that everything turned out okay. It ended up that the two light goat babies are
the two that came out side by side.
Their sisters are females, and the first one, the dark baby, is a buckling. They're now 3 days old. They're drinking from mama really well, and everybody's doing great. I do want to say that a lot of times these videos where the births aren't as easy, they get a lot of attention. But I do want to assure you, if you're a new homesteader or going to be a future homesteader, that all of these goats normally give birth by themselves with no problem. So I don't want you all to be intimidated and maybe not get into goats or sheep or whatever because they have a hard time giving birth. Most of the time, things go really well. And actually this year with Princess and now with Rory is the first time ever we've had to help goats have babies, and we've had them for probably 5 years.
Yeah. Otherwise, they always go smoothly on their own. It's always good to be there, to keep an eye on them. But really, we always have, raised animals with the philosophy, the least amount of human intervention, the better, especially when it comes to, birth and that type of thing. Nature will normally work itself out just fine. So having a farm and raising animals is really a lot of responsibility. It's one of the reasons that we honestly just don't leave the homestead very often and travel. We just feel like this is the lifestyle we've picked. Our place is to be here taking care of our animals, and thank goodness we were here. We were able to intervene when necessary. Otherwise, I really think we would have lost all 4 of these goats this past weekend.
So we are so excited to have baby goats on the homestead again. We're actually going to be keeping one of the doelings this time, but we'll have the other doeling and the buckling for sale. If you're interested, hey, let us know. And you're going to see a lot of them coming up in the near future on our other videos.
So the baby goats weren't the only exciting thing to happen over the past couple of weeks. We've got some more things to share with you before we wrap up this video today.
Let's head into the greenhouse.
So along with the baby goats being born, we also had a productive couple of weeks starting seeds and working in the greenhouse.
We currently have about 700 pepper plants started, about the same number of tomato plants started. It's super exciting. We were able to repot all of the brassicas, so broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, collards. We have about 300 of those.
And those are for our garden.
Yes. This year we're also growing eggplant for seed for Baker Creek Heirloom Seed Company, and those starts are looking absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, since we moved them out to the greenhouse, they're just taking off. It's been awesome to see how well these are doing already. We can't wait till we can get them in the ground.
Right. For Baker Creek, we're also growing an orange tomato called Dad's Sunset Tomato. We have those seedlings started, so we're excited to get those in the ground too.
Yeah, they've started to sprout, but they're not ready to come out to the greenhouse yet.
Right. And I couldn't resist planting some flower seeds, so we've got a lot of that coming up as well out here. We still have a lot of seeds to plant. A whole nother round of peppers, a whole nother round of tomatoes, and just other things here and there.
Yeah, our goal is to probably have about 2,000 peppers and 2,000 tomatoes this year, along with a ton of other things that we'll be selling at our local farmers market. We're just getting into the season now where things are really going to start to get busy, but we absolutely love it. If you guys are local in our area, come see us at the farmers market. We'll have lots of plant starts for sale this year.
Before long, this entire greenhouse will be filled with plant starts. And our last piece of exciting news is that we have been asked to be speakers at the Baker Creek Spring Planting Festival in Mansfield, Missouri, the first Sunday and Monday of May. We would love for you guys to come out and talk with us, share some time with us. It'll be a great time.
Yeah, if you've never been to the Spring Planting Festival, it is just a great time. People from all over the world. It attracts 10,000 or more people, which if you've ever been to Mansfield, Missouri, it's not a very big place. So for 10,000 people to show up is absolutely amazing. It's a good time and a great time for us to get to meet some of you guys. So we are so glad to be back doing videos for you guys. We're going to be back to 5 days a week, starting again this week. We had some other exciting things happen over these past couple weeks, but you're going to have to wait till later this week to see what those are. We're so excited to be able to share more things with you guys again. Hey, if this is your first time visiting our channel, I hope that you'll hit that subscribe button before you leave. If you're one of our traditionalists who comes back 5 days a week, thank you so much. We really do appreciate you guys. Don't forget to check us out on Instagram as well as Facebook. And until next time, thanks so much for stopping by the homestead. Take care and God bless.
God bless.